What we're going to talk about next is the things that you need in order to shoot an off-camera flash remotely triggered with a film camera and to be able to meter that flash so that there's no guesswork involved. It's very simple and doesn't have to be challenging at all. So let's get started. You're going to need a few basic things. The first thing you're going to need is a light meter. This is an essential tool for any film photographer, and a very, very good feature to have on your light meter is a PC socket like this. This is the universal sync jack for flashes in the photo industry for professional level gear. This is also the same connector that you're going to find on almost every camera ever made. So if your meter has that, chances are you're going to be able to connect your meter to either your flash directly by a cord or by a cord and a pocket wizard. And so that's the first piece that you need. You need a light meter when you're shooting with a flash with film photography because it lets you meter for the flash and there's no guesswork. One thing you'll also need is a pair of radio transmitters. I use Pocket Wizard brand because they're very reliable and have been an industry standard for many years. All this does essentially is send a command from one of these to the other that says fire. At the most basic level, that is the only thing these do, and that's the only thing you need them to do. So you don't necessarily need TTL and all this other stuff. At the very most basic level, all you need it to say is fire. So you want to have a radio transmitter and receiver that have a good range, that way you can shoot through walls or around corners and not have to deal with those things. Some of the more advanced features are actually not as necessary as they may seem. The final thing that you're going to need are some cords, and you might not realize this at first because the Pocket Wizard has a shoe built on it. So if you're using a digital SLR or if you're using a film SLR that has a hot shoe built in, you can slide it in very easily, and when you take the photo, it'll just work. However, not all film cameras have a hot shoe on them. For example, this Fuji GW690 that I have does not have a hot shoe. It actually has a cold shoe. So it's the same metal shape, but it doesn't send a signal to fire. This camera has a PC jack on the lens. So this is where the cords come in. So all you're really going to need are two cords. You're going to need a cord to connect the receiver to your flash, and you're going to need a cord to connect the transmitter to your camera or your light meter. We'll start with the one that goes attached to your flash. Typically, your flash is going to use the same 3.5mm jack that the Pocket Wizard does. The Pocket Wizard has a jack on the side. You can plug it in like that and then plug it into your flash. Occasionally, some older flashes will have a different jack on the other end. You may need to get a specific cord. But generally, you can actually use a 3.5mm audio jack out of your car even in a pinch. So that's a really helpful thing to know. So the second piece we're going to talk about is connecting the transmitter and your camera or your meter, because this is the one that has the PC jack. This is a special cord. So you're going to have to special order this from somewhere. I got mine from Pocket Wizard. It was about $30 and it came in the mail in about 3 days. So it plugs into the Pocket Wizard on that side, and then it gives me a PC jack on the other. And I can either plug this into my light meter, I can plug it into my 35mm SLR camera on its PC jack, or I can also connect it to a medium format camera by using its PC jack. So in that way, we can connect the camera and or our meter to a Pocket Wizard, and then we can also connect our flash to the other Pocket Wizard. So that's a simple setup that will get you going to use off-camera flash with film camera.